Hello, everybody, and hello, Lawrence Dearman from the Carnivore Crate. So nice to introduce you to our people, and I'm very excited at what you're bringing to the world.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to get your invitation.
Oh. Well, I was excited to get your invitation for you to put our products into your boxes. So I would love for you to explain to me your journey to get to this point with your business and why you chose, why you want to include organs in your packs.
Awesome. Well, I suppose the journey is a bit of a long one. I came across the keto diet about 6 years ago and tried that for a while purely for the weight loss factor. So I have 8-year-old twins, and not long after that, realized there was a lot of changes going on and wanted to try to get back to a bit of normality body-wise. So I did keto for a while, and it worked initially for weight loss, but just all the substitutions, the fancy recipes that I was trying to just substitute for normal food, I found myself consumed a lot more with meal planning and buying anything that had keto on it, pretty much. So found that quite hard to stick to. Bounced on and off that. But my third child was actually a keto pregnancy, keto baby. And that was cool. But after he was probably 1, I really wanted to get back into exercise and things like that. And I just didn't have the energy. So that's actually when I found carnivore. So my journey through carnivore, I just, after the initial sort of slump that you go through as your body transitions from sugar as fuel to fat, I just was filled with energy and loved it. So the simplicity was great with young kids. So stuck with that, trudging along on my own. But then when you sort of want some variety from just steak, or, sometimes you just can't be bothered cooking a steak, I found it really hard to find the convenient but healthy snacks. So out of that need, really, my husband one morning was talking about a TikTok video he saw about subscription coffee or something like that. And I thought, what a brilliant idea to do a subscription-based carnivore box for Carnivore Crate business. And then that night I jumped on, made a logo, set up a Facebook page, and it just lit a fire under me, really.
That's exciting. It's wonderful to be able to share your love and knowledge with other people and have an offering, because I really believe that if we follow the calling, then we're doing our work in the world. We're doing our soul work in the world, and that's how. Yeah. So, well done. That's good. And tell me about what it does. Like, what is the Carnivore Crate?
So it's very new. It was only the school holidays before last that I sort of just ran with it. So we have curated boxes with specific products. At the moment, we have like a snack crate, a beauty crate, which is all tallow-based, toxin-free items. But I'm moving also to having individual products listed on our website a lot more for purchase, so that all the sort of good products around are in one place, because it's been a huge journey learning what is actually out there. And so many people are making so many amazing products, and it's taken a lot of work for me to find them all, kind of thing. So I thought it was great to have them in one place for people to browse and purchase, and just to support people on their carnivore, keto, low carb, whatever journey, really.
It's really interesting when you do make that change with your diet, your paradigm, your thinking changes. And with keto, there's always keto stuff in the supermarkets. It's like the buzzword, but carnivore is quite restrictive. it's seen as being quite restrictive. So being able to come to one place and go, well, I need tallow skincare, and I need some snacks, and where am I going to get my really good grass-fed, grass-finished meat from? And if I want to eat, do you have organs as well, like fresh organs?
I have tried. I've tried freezing them, and just I can't physically swallow them. So that I take your products, and that's how I found out about
So
you.
it's nice to be able to offer, freeze-dried organs as, for nutrition, but also for targeting health challenges as well. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Definitely.
Yay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The whole range. It's really great. And I love, the wisdom about if you're, having liver problems, then you take bovine liver, and it just makes so much sense. It's a whole carnivore way of life and way of thinking. It just makes sense to me. Why I love it.
We were talking before I pushed record about how we've experienced other people who have really kind of stepped away from, like, they ride in the narrative, they're right in the big pharma narrative about using drugs to heal. And my personal opinion is there are times when we need drugs, like we're in the 2023, and we've got so many medical advances that have proven to help us remain healthy, which is okay, like surgeries and antibiotics if we need them, but relying too much on the medical profession for health, it's so easy to go, oh well, I've got a headache, I need to take some ibuprofen, or I've got body pain and I need to take ibuprofen and pain relief. And that to me is like, it's a bit of a cop-out. If we followed an ancestral way of living and we weren't eating inflammatory foods, and we followed the sunrise and the sunset, and we got good sleep, then our bodies would respond so much better, And we removed alcohol, because who gets a headache when they drink too much alcohol? Yeah, we all do, It's like, and also I think, your generation and your children's generation, we've been exposed to a whole lot more pesticides and fertilizers and stuff in our food chain that wasn't around when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's really contributing to a declining health for the population.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Just the effect on food on, well, I can only speak for myself and our family, but even as soon as I changed and really dialed into carnivore, just my mental health was so much better. Energy levels, the body aches, all those sorts of things just improve so quickly. And for our kids, I mean, they're not 100% carnivore, but their behavior, their concentration and everything like that, the difference between when they're eating, aligned with sort of high meat, high fat based way of eating, and then when they like come home from a birthday party that's filled them full of sugar, it's amazing the difference when you actually pay attention. And even all the pesticides and the additives and things in food, it's really confronting when you look at carnivore and you start reading more. It's huge, hey? You're like, it's just rubbish and everything.
That's what happened to me when I changed my diet. I changed what I was reading, and I changed what I was listening to, and sort of found that there were so many people in the space that were full of information, like Saladino, Anthony Chaffee, Georgia Ede. There's Zoe Harkin. There's a lot of people in the space who have got the research behind them. Like, they're not just flying the flag because it's something different. They're actually researching. They are living this as a dynamic expression of the way they're feeding themselves, and they're flying the flag. And it's so good. It's so good because we are we're making a stand for health and wellness and longevity by doing this. So I applaud you for joining the group.
Great. Just the number of people, when you do meet other people in the same wavelength, which I've been lucky to meet quite a few people recently just through the business, really reaching out to them on a professional level and then speaking with them personally. Gosh, there's so much to learn, hey, and just rethink. It makes you rethink everything.
Yeah, there is a lot to learn. It's just like deprogramming, right? And
that's a perfect way.
The transition between keto and carnivore, how was that for you? Because that happened, I did that as well. I'm just going to close my door. Hold on.
Yep.
How was that for you to transition from keto to carnivore?
It was freeing, really. Absolutely freeing, because like you said, I was, buying all these things that said keto. I was changing different meals to try and calculate my macros. And honestly, it's just life admin that I just didn't need. So once I decided to go carnivore, just so much of the thought process disappeared, really. Like there was no planning. It's freeing. And then you're also eventually you're not as hungry. So I have less time, preparing food, sitting and eating stuff and worrying about being hungry. And if anything, it's more like reminding myself that I probably need something, because you're just so fueled and so full of energy. It's hard to stop.
It's a radical change, isn't it? From worrying about when I'm going to get my next food, what am I going to eat for the day? Am I going to, like, if I go out, am I going to be hungry while I'm out? What do I take with me? All that stuff that we used to think about, it's not there anymore. And there seems to be, for me, there's a real calmness in my body that I'm going to get fed well. I don't have to panic about not having any food in my body, because part of the carnivore diet is that I generally don't eat until lunchtime, because I'm not hungry, because the food that I eat is so nutrient dense, protein and fat. I'm not hungry. And so I'm like, oh, I better have some lunch, and it's usually eggs and butter. And my relationship with food, what I'm trying to say is that my relationship with food has changed. Because underneath this body, there is a carnivore waiting to come out again.
Yes, and it can be tricky as well. That was the other reason. Sometimes I would just forget to eat and then get that overly hungry, when you just eat something. And then in those moments, I wanted something convenient that I could just have around the place. So things like jerky, biltong, crackling, all those sorts of things I wanted to just have on hand, but I often didn't. So that's the reason I thought, convenience-based foods are still necessary sometimes. And with little kids, I still need to worry about how much food we take with us.
Yeah.
But even and the change in them when they're eating the way that we eat, they're not hungry either. So I'm not forcing them to eat breakfast that they didn't want like I used to, because breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
And they naturally fall into a way of eating when they're at home as well. That's much better.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we're living with our grandchildren at the moment. Well, they live with us. And it's interesting. One of them is a definite carnivore, one of the children, and the other one is a carbivore, and their moods are so different. The little one who has to eat a lot of carbs all the time, she's always hungry, whereas the other one just gets on with the day and eats eggs and meat, and it's quite profoundly different. And I think, as parents and grandparents, we're laying down the foundation for our children's well-being well into the future. A good understanding of nutrition now for them is a great start.
Absolutely. And it's quite for a while there, I was worried, because people say, don't say these foods are bad and these foods are good and these are sometimes foods. And I'm like, sugar is a never, pretty much a never food. It's never going to be good for you. It is essentially poison. Deep fried things there's no good time for them. Sometimes is still terrible for you. But we're trying to make sure that they listen to their bodies. So when they do go out and have, those sugar laden birthday parties or whatever, and they come and say they feel sick, I'm like, well, yeah, good. Yeah. That's your body saying it doesn't want it.
Yeah. That's your body going, you've eaten the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that feeling.
Yeah.
In our house, it's like you must eat your meat at dinner and then whatever after that. But the meat must be eaten. Vegetables are sometimes food as well. And our kids love veggies. So like, well, at the very least, I'm going to peel them and cook them for you. But yeah.
I remember going through a raw food, like raw veggie phase, I don't know, probably 20 years ago, thinking that I was just so good, raw everything, all veggies, no meat. It just doesn't do you any good, really.
I did the same. I was a vegetarian for a while and did the raw juicing, and I taught English over in Turkey. Like, I'm so gutted now because the meat over there, looking at it now, when we look at videos, I'm like, I missed out.
Why did I eat the meat?
I wasted my trip.
No.
I was the unhealthiest I've ever been when I was vegetarian, like just looked terrible, felt terrible. And this is carnivore is the way.
Carnivore is the way.
Yeah.
I'd like to see, when I go to restaurants and there's always the GF and the vegan friendly, I'd like to see a carnivore restaurant or an aspect of the diet or the menu to be purely for carnivores,
Yeah, and cooked in butter or ghee or something. That's the other concern. You can go out and have a steak, but you don't know what it's being cooked in, and there is still pressure, because if we go somewhere that there is no carnivore things, then I'll just choose not to eat. But it's still not that comfortable. A lot of people don't like it, but I'm still there. I'm still enjoying my time. I just choose not to eat.
I don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
It's not food.
I don't want to be pressured into eating something I don't want.
A few years ago, I was on Waiheke and we were having a family lunch, and my little granddaughter grabbed the greens off the plate. It was bacon and eggs, and it had the greens in it. She put it on the side, and I made a little reel about that doesn't belong there. You're dead to me. I think the music was "You're Dead to Me," and it got so many hits. It's like, this is the way we live, It's okay to not eat your greens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If anything, I'm like, you sure you want more vegetables?
Don't do that.
But our kids love to eat butter by the spoon, so that's perfect for me. I'm just like, here you go, eat.
That's good. And there's so much good stuff in butter,
I know. Yeah.
And New Zealand's dairy industry, I know that it's contentious, but we feed our animals grass, and New Zealand farmers are moving towards regenerative agriculture, and so if we choose wisely the dairy that we buy and the meat that we buy, we're living our best lives. We're giving ourselves the best opportunity to live a long and healthy life.
Yeah.
So we live in a great place.
We're lucky here, that's for sure.
Yeah, we are. Okay, it's 10:20. We've had 20 minutes. Like I said, I was only going to do 20. Tell me about where you source all your products, that you've got on your website.
So just New Zealand, locally based businesses who are already doing, they're already doing the work. I have no intention of trying to take anything and make it under my umbrella or anything like that. It's just one place to find great products that are already being sold around the place. There are a lot of amazing products offshore. The Americans have quite a few carnivore products that would be great to have here, but it's not terribly feasible. even Australia, we're in talks with a few different companies over there about possibly bringing some of their products here to New Zealand. But yeah, it's just connections, really. I mean, I've just decided, like, I'm just going to email the world, like all these amazing people, and just be like, please, do you want to work with us? And we love what you do, and we just want to share, your products with anybody who will listen, really. So it's been a really organic growth of things, and people message me, and I'll just chuck anything that's suitable. Like, we're happy to support. Yeah,
that's awesome. So below this little interview, I'll put how people can contact you.
okay.
And we'll just keep flying the flag and shouting really loudly that this is a good way to live.
To live well.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much, Lauren, for sitting in front of me. And I know that it's nerve-wracking because it's going to go everywhere, but and also the female voice too. Like it's generally in the family, it's the woman's job to find the food and prepare the food and feed the children and keep the family nurtured. So the woman's voice is really crucial.
Definitely. And those food choices are key. So we're also doing planning a lunchbox crate and trying to figure out some healthier options for our kids to be eating and make that convenient too.
That's awesome. Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's really great to talk to you.
Yeah, really great to talk to you too. I'm going to stop